Good morning, traders. It is Friday. I'm going to take a little code 2 trade here, make a quick, should be able to make 20 ticks. Maybe only get 15 out of it, but I think I can get 20. Piece of cake. Code 2 is a piece of cake. Well, at least this one is. This is an easy one. You know, if you know the code system, if you've taken my code system, especially the code 2 system, if you've got my code 2 system, you should absolutely be playing this trade right here. This is the best trade. I mean, you know, you could just play this trade once a day, every day, make 15, 20 ticks every day. That's all you need. Get your accuracy up to 75%. That's all you need. You can make all the money you want to make. I mean, you know, you don't need any more money than that. Start using 5 contracts, make 20 ticks a day, it's $1,000. You lose a couple of them in a week. End up making $3,000 a week, $12,000 a month, just off of 5 contracts of doing one thing a day. I mean, it's pretty hard to beat, don't you think? All you gotta do is practice this trade. I just show you, just took an entry right now. Practice the trade. I've got this thing narrowed down right now. It's either gonna come down right here and give me 20 ticks, or it's going to shoot back up and go break that high right there and go much higher. And therefore, I'd take the break and go with it, and I'd make, you know, I'd go for at least 15 ticks at that point. Otherwise, it's going to come down now and make 20. I mean, it's very, very simple. You know, I started a new signal service and everything, and because I'm trying to help people. But you know, I was thinking it'd be so much easier for me and for you just to learn this one trade. This is like for a long time now, this has been my bread and butter trade. In other words, it's my go-to trade. It's my best trade I got. Out of all my trades, it's the best one. Why? Because it's the easiest. It's the easiest trade there is. As you can see, many times it doesn't even take very long. I've got a little ways to go to my exit still, but you know, a lot of times it won't even take very long. Sometimes it does though. Sometimes it takes a couple hours. Sometimes it just takes 5-10 minutes. Or I say, you know, for those of you who know this particular trade, you say, well, how do you know which one it is? They say, well, what was it yesterday? I'm following the same exact one as it was yesterday. That's all you gotta do. Just as it changes, you change with it. What was it yesterday? Do the same thing today. It's easy. It's a piece of cake. Cakewalk trade. Hey, you know what's really cool is this thing used to be good for 100 ticks. I got that in my charting area. You purchase my course, And I've got, let's say you purchase my best deal and get both code 1 and code 2. I give you access to the old charting area that I did with all the charts and all the code laid out all over all the charts, right? There was a lot of work that went into that. You'll see that that this particular code 2 used to be good for 100 ticks every day. Every day, 100 ticks. Imagine that. Now you know why it used to be my bread and butter trade. I used to be able to make 100 ticks off this thing. Why I want to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and start trading the USA session to find the code 2 to make 100 ticks, or wake up in the Euro at 3 o'clock in the morning to find the code to make 100 ticks, when I could just take 100 ticks at 11:30 a.m. my time, right before lunch, and make 100 ticks. Now I just go in for 20 because it doesn't move as much anymore. But if oil ever picked back up again like it used to, I guarantee you this code will be worth 100 ticks again, because this is one of the 3 codes. So I would love for it to pick back up, because making 20 ticks is nice, but you can't compare making 20 ticks to 100 ticks. You just can't compare it. It's a whole different ball game. Anyway, I just heard my coffee finishing up, so I am going to go get it, and I'll come back, show you the outcome of this trade. It won't take that much longer. Probably take another 25 minutes. But whatever it takes. It might take another hour. It might even take 2 hours. Who knows? Who cares? As long as it makes it to the exit. That's all I care about. So I'll be back in just a little bit, and I'll update you on the progress and the outcome of this trade. By the way, today's Friday, so let's just say that, and you can see it's 12:21. By 2 o'clock, I'll be out of this no matter what. If it doesn't make it to the exit, I'll exit manually no matter where I'm at. Whether I'm down, whether I'm up, doesn't matter. Because I'll never hold over a weekend. Because by holding over a weekend, oil, and just about any instrument, but oil, currencies, everything, they can gap up or down rather huge. Like, 100 ticks, even more, 150, 200 ticks. You do not want to get caught on the wrong side of a gap. If you made it on the right side, you're doing great, but make it on the wrong side just one time, and you don't ever want to let that happen. So there's only one way that I know of to keep from that happening, and that is to make sure that you're not holding over the weekend. So it's not like this is a stock and you're investing, and whether it gaps up or gaps down, you don't really care, because you're just going to hold it for the next 6 months, next year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever your goal is or plan is for the trade. But with something like this, it goes up and down too much to ever think about holding it. And just going up or down a little bit is a whole bunch of money. So it's not as if you can afford to hold it going down till it goes back up, or afford to hold it going up if you're short and you want to go back down. I mean, you can't afford it. So whenever you're dealing with something like this, you need to think trade. Trade, 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 trade. In fact, you shouldn't even be thinking trade. You should be thinking day trade, day trade, day trade. You're in, you're out. You're in, you're out. You're in, you're out. This is not a buy and hold strategy. You're going to trade. And your whole goal is to get in on the right side of the trade, right? So you can make some money. I mean, this isn't rocket science. If this thing goes down and you short, you're going to make money. If this thing goes up and you go long and buy, you're going to make money. All you got to do is get the direction right, and you make money. That sounds so easy. Well, it's not easy. It's not easy. It's actually much harder than what it seems. But with the code system, bingo. Now it makes it, 100 times easier, 10 times easier. So, not rocket science. It really isn't. And you can see where my position is. The high is up here at what looks like 14. 14 is the high. And then that's 5. Goes up to 3. Now it's coming back down almost to the exit here. 6 ticks away from the exit. Right? And the high was right there at 14. Look at where my entry's at. Right there. Not far from the high. And it actually never did go above my entry. Look at that. There's my entry, just went to my entry, then went back down. I say, well, how could you know that? It's because there is a code. My videos will show that and prove that there is a code. And that's why you can be so accurate, because there is a code. Now you got to practice code, you got to learn the code, you got to practice the code. Some people are really good with it naturally. Some people really struggle with it. It all depends on the person and how well they understand it. Everybody's different, Some people can dance and sing. Some people can't dance or sing at all. Like me. Some people can trade. Some people can't. No matter if they have a code or not. And some people are really super good at this. Anyway, as you can see, it's slow. It's Friday. Today's Friday. It's typical of it going shallow. So really it's appropriate for me to back down to 15 ticks. It almost made it to 15 right there. One more penny down would make it 15 ticks. Now if I put my exit at 15 ticks right there, that'll mathematically increase the percentage of this trade. It'll increase the mathematics on it. If I continue to hold at 20, the math is a little bit lower because it's tight. It's going tight because it's going dry. It's Friday. It's going to close down. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to change the limit right now. Just the limit from 85 up to 90. And you say, well, why don't you just put it at the low right there so when it double bottoms? I'm not paying attention to this. I'm paying attention to the mathematics of the trade itself. I mean, there's a good mathematical chance. Trying to get my charts to come up. There's a good mathematical chance that this trade will make it to 85 still. But I just increase the mathematics of the trade being successful, because that's all I care about. I don't care about making 15 ticks or 20 ticks. I care about having a successful trade. So all I want to do is increase the mathematics right now to make it a higher percentage trade now, in light of it being Friday and going slow. This trade could have dropped out 20 ticks right from the very beginning, and I'd already be out. I wouldn't be even thinking this way. But it's slow. It's gone dry. Got an hour and a half left before I've got to get out. Or if I wanted to, I could just exit right here. But I don't like to do that. I used to do that a lot before, till I learned to become patient with the trade. Because you know why? Because I always realized it always made it. It would always make it. They say, well, why do you miss those? If you just mathematically always go for them, you'll hit them. And I looked at it on paper, and I just said, this if you're gonna play, if you think mathematically, this is the right thing to do. And so that's what I started doing. And guess what? It started working. Always play the math. And say, well, how do you know it'll go to 15 ticks? Because it always does? That's why. Because it always does. It always makes it to 15. It doesn't always make it to 20 because it's been tight, especially like on a Friday. So, but it always makes it to 15. As long as you got a good entry, which I do, it always makes it to 15, no problem. And it'll probably make it to 20 still. But, hour and a half left. I'm just going to go for the 15. So you can see it's going back up. A newbie trader, or like before when I used to do, I'd be like, oh man, if that breaks and goes to 85 right there, I'm just going to exit. And guess what? A lot of times it would break, and I would exit, and it maybe would go back up to here again, and it would come back down and make the original exit. I kept watching that over and over and over again. I was like, gotta do something about this. And it's simple. All you just do is just eliminate the possibility of getting out early. Always go for it. And you'll hit them. Whenever they happen, you'll hit them every time. And guess what? They always happen. So guess what? You always hit them. So watch. You're going to see that my 90 is going to get hit. Because it's going to make it 15 ticks. It's almost a mathematical certainty. 20 ticks reduces the math some. Not by a lot, but by a little bit. Enough for me to back down, not go for it. See, right here? Why, profit's going away. Gotta lock it in, right? Exit, right? Watch. It'll go back down. I'm going to pause the video and come back and show it to you and prove it to you. I've been this 1,000 times. Practice this one trade right here, code 2, and you'll be able to do what I'm doing right now. I think I'm just going to go ahead and take this trade every day, once a day, just so I can show it and prove it, and you can see it every day, and for those of you who can just watch it every day, and you can trade it every day. I don't care where in the world you are. If you're in Australia and this is the middle of the night for you, you can get up if you wanted to and take a trade, take you an hour, go back to sleep. You could be making $12,000 a month. Okay, it's going to take you time to get there. Maybe it'll take you a year to get there. But then you've got an easy way to make money. Right? This is the best trade you could do it on right here. Just look up, somewhere like around 11:30 a.m. California time, USA. 11:30 a.m. California time, USA. Whatever time that is for you. If you got an hour to spend, you can make some. Like for instance, let's say you wanted to take this, you just wanted to walk away on this trade. Well, I wouldn't walk away because it's Friday's coming. You got an hour and a half to get out. If you wanted to leave, just get out, exit, shut the software down, go. You always got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday next week, and just keeps on coming. Never stops, never ends. Till your heart stops beating, I guess. Or you just get tired and bored of this. I've been doing this for a long time. But if you just wanted to make money, this is the trade to do it on. I mean, just one trade. Here's my theory. You learn too much information, and you try to become good at everything. It's like a doctor trying to become an expert in brain surgery and, a specialist on this or that, a specialist on the stomach and the brain and the eyes and the nose and the, whatever else, right? The foot. How good could you get at any one of those things? Wouldn't get very good at them, would you? That's why they'll specialize in one thing so that they can get really good at that. It's kind of like this. It was sort of maybe my mistake. In the course, I've taught so much information from the very beginning. that even for an advanced trader, it's hard for them to absorb it all, understand it all. And for a newbie trader, they just get overwhelmed. They love it, but they get overwhelmed, and they try to start doing all these different things. And you can't. You need to focus on one thing. Just practice that, get good at it, and make money with it. Then you can go off into other things and improve your skills by being able to do two things now. Like maybe you should just, like let's say the Euro Code 2 that comes during your time, then just focus on the Euro Code 2, nothing else. Or if the USA Code 2 is it, then focus on the USA Code 2. Or if this Code 2 is it, then just focus on this Code 2. For those of you who are newbies, you may want to just do this Code 2 because it's the easiest one of them all. Easiest trade. And by the way, this Code 2 yesterday was good for over 100 ticks. I was going to call it as a signal, but it was good for it being short 100 ticks, and the shorts are more risky than the longs. This particular Code 2 will do better off of a long than it will off of a short most of the time. So the shorts are more risky. Because a lot of times what happens is they only go a little bit down, and then they'll come back up into the Euro, and then give a short off the Code 2. And you'll get stopped out every time. So I didn't want to call it. But it was good, it just kept trending down. But the other one that I did, the big oil trade, that one was a long off of the Code 2. So this particular trade has been heating up here, you know? It really has. It's been doing well. So for those of you who are struggling or something, you don't understand the code, you're struggling with Code 1 or something like that, if you know Code 2, then you know what trade I'm talking about. You should focus in on this trade. This is my favorite trade. My bread and butter trade. It's easy to take. It's easy to see. You can mathematically figure it out. Let's say you have to mathematically figure it out and just take a break one way or another. Go for 10 ticks off the break. Unless it really looks good, like it's going to take off and go high or something off the 10-minute and daily or something like that, then you go for much more. You could go for a big trade even. For the last couple of weeks, you could have been going for 100 tick trades and hitting them. All you got to do is hold. You got to hold through the day close, but just hold. Be prepared to hold overnight, and you can hit them. So, actually, you didn't even need to hold overnight. Just part of the night. Anyway, I'm gonna get going. I'll show you the outcome of this trade. But just to let you know, you see how it looks like it's going up? Watch for yourself and see. It'll come back down and it'll hit the 90 exit. We're getting close. Where's it at? 92? This came within 2 ticks away. It'll make it. It'll make it because it always goes 15 ticks. I mean, I'm not sure what the math is exactly, but it's very close to 100%. It almost 100% of the time goes 15 ticks. You just have to, make sure you've got a good entry on that. And I do. I have a really good entry. So, because I knew right where it was. You say, well, how do you know? Same thing it was yesterday. They switched it. They switched it yesterday. So I just followed the same one. Before that, it was running the same for, I don't know, quite a while. So there it is. Quick 15 ticks on a Friday. It's the only trade I've taken. And one trade, 15 ticks, precision. How? How do I know? Because there is a code, because I know the code and broke the code. That's how. For those of you who really want to, are new at this, and taking code 2 and the USA session, and taking code 2 in the Euro, and taking the code 1 during any time, especially the USA session, maybe you're struggling with these things. It's like so much power, so much knowledge that's overwhelming you and you're struggling with it. Or even if you're just focusing on code 1 and you're struggling with it, why not just focus all your energies on one trade? This code 2 trade right here. If you're able to make it during this time, focus your energies right here and just get really good at this trade. Master it. Become a master at this one trade. Make 15 ticks a day and start upping your contracts. And then the money will follow. Just get your percentage down first, as high as you possibly can. And guess what? When you do that, guess what happens? Over time, you start getting better. Because you start learning the trades. Like, oh, I've seen this one before. And you just know what's going to happen before it even happens. You know where you get in. Plus you're tracking it, so you know exactly where it's at. You take really good entries, you get out, you make successful trades. When you lose, you lose. You go back one. Go back a step. Make sure you're always 1-to-1. Never play anything other than 1-to-1. If you can cut your stop loss short, great. If not, stay 1-to-1. Don't ever go out of that. If you go out of that, you won't mathematically make it. So keep it 1-to-1. And you can't go 10 ticks because 10 tick stop is too tight on this trade. You must be at least 15. If you're 15, you need to be good. Can't just be a newbie. If you're a newbie, you better take 20. The problem with 20 is there'll be certain times where you might struggle to make that exit. 15 is good to start off with and practice. Yeah, practice, or maybe practice. Just practice, and you'll start to get good at it. And then you make money. Trying to master the Euro code, the USA code, and the code 1, and all this different stuff all at the same time is a little too much. So try to focus in on one thing. Get really super good at, even if it's not this trade. Maybe it's the USA code 2. Fine. Or even if it is code 1. Fine. Don't bother with, well, code 1, I mean, it's really good if you know code 2 so that you could look for the code 2 and take code 1 entries into the code 2. That's how you find the code 2. Once you find the code 2, you just hold it and make a big trade, right? I mean, that's the beauty of it. So you should be using it like that. Whatever you do, just try to focus and specialize on that one thing until you're making money. Then you can go off into other areas. Don't struggle trying to do everything. In my opinion, this is the best trade of all. It's the easiest. It's the best. You can only get 15-20 ticks off of it, but still, it's a high mathematical trade that's easy to see, easy to find and follow, easy to take, easy to make money from. I call that the best trade. The best trade that you can have that have the highest mathematics on. I call that the best trade. So anyway, I'm going to get going. I hope you traders had a good week trading this week. It was good, actually. Very good week. I think next week is going to heat up even more. I think August is going to turn out to be a good month for doing some trading. Whereas usually August is slow. But I think it's going to surprise us this month. We'll find out. So I'll see you guys next week. Have a good weekend.